I love Craigslist. I love to buy stuff cheap, and I like used, and I like the hunt. So, and I've done it many, many times, bought stuff on Craigslist, and my computer went down. And so usually my agenda would be to go to the person's house, get them to take less than what they were asking for it, make sure it was okay, and go away happy. Really didn't relate very much except on a task basis with the person that I. But my computer went down just about the time that I'd finished Tangible Kingdom. And I was thinking about this a lot, and the computer went down, so I got on Craigslist, found a MacBook Pro to go find it, and this guy had just what I wanted. And I encountered this 20-something-year-old environmental engineer who he and his recently graduated lawyer wife were starting their careers in Boise at this really nice apartment overlooking the park. And it was just really cool. And I got to talking to Skylar about his life and about his career. And I learned that he played football against Carroll College, and I had followed Carroll College football for a while. And it was a delightful, fun conversation. And out of the blue, I said, and I don't know where this came from, I just said, well, since you've been to Boise, have you found a good church? And he looked at me funny and he says, we've never been to a church. He says, really, I'm just not interested in any of that stuff. So we talked a little bit more, and just a few sentences later, I blurted out, and I don't know where this came from. I don't recommend it at all. I said, Skylar, so it sounds like you're just a first-class pagan. Don't want anything to do with God. And he says, well, and it's funny. We had developed a little bit of rapport at that point, and he didn't seem taken aback by my stupid comment. And he just said, I really think that your home where you grew up is where you get the ideas of whether you want to be religious or not. And we just grew up in homes where we didn't ever go to church or anything like that. And so we have just no need for that. Pretty soon we got back into football, and we made the transaction. And after I paid for the thing, I decided in the process that I wouldn't offer him less money. I actually paid the full price for this thing that he was asking. And that was a kind of an interesting dynamic for me, because I cared about a relationship with this guy. And then just before I left, something occurred to me, and without even a thought, I just, over my shoulder as I was leaving, I said, Skylar, if you ever want to figure out God, will you give me a call? And he says, okay. And then we said goodbye, and I've been thinking about Skylar, and I pray for him regularly, that he would come to know Christ. And maybe someday he'll call me up and say, do you remember that time when you said about God? And we could start a conversation.